We're about to overthink everything.
One person in that government actually admitted that they're messing up.
I don't know, I feel kind of cynical about it. I don't really feel like I have that much power when it comes to influencing politicians.
The Overthinkers.
Okay, we want to delve into a couple of political... Yeah, there's some political drama on the scene. It real busy, you know?
Like
busy. Yeah. I'm telling you.
Yep.
It's really comparable with how things are going in the US with Trump right now. But anyway, we are getting ready to have elections next year this time. Yeah, if we clock it either in
the reckoning
somewhere between January and March is what we were trying to debate just now. But next year this time we're gonna be in the thick of it. So the campaigning start already real hard, and I love it. I forgot to mention to y'all, when I was getting ready to come here, I saw a video on the DLP's page that my boy Simon Allen, shout out to Simon Allen from Rum and Coke. So he seems to be campaigning for the DLP. It is a video. I'm going to send you the link so that you can put it in so the viewers could see. About this lady, she's going to catch a bus. And she's a mature lady, so pensioners don't pay right now, right?
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, pensioners
seniors don't pay. They just show their ID and they get home for free. And when she gets on the bus now, she's told that she has to pay. And said, well, that's who you voted in. You voted in the party that is going to make you pay to get on the bus.
Propaganda.
Right? And then she wakes up from the dream. She's like, a dream? You mean a nightmare? It was hilarious. I mean, no. You know the comedy in me, I thought it was quite funny, but it start already with the propaganda and the campaigning and which celebrity gonna be going with which party and stuff like that.
I think that's a good thing that a lot of celebrities and younger people getting involved in politics and speaking out using social media to, whether for or against whichever party you may support, they're coming out and they're supporting, they're doing videos, they're trying to get the word out there because it's very important. I've been hearing people saying, I'm not voting in the next elections and they not cast.
Or you don't participate.
No, you got to cast a vote because even if your vote, your party lose by landslide, the fact of the matter is you cast your vote. Right? If you don't do that, then who knows? You understand what I'm saying? So it's very important because we as citizens only have ourselves to blame.
But suppose you don't like none of the parties. You know what I mean? And that is the situation with a lot of people. I just saw my girl Keisha down here just raise her hand. They go, there's right. So there's going to be another independent party. Shout out to Keisha. She's on the sidelines today. So that party came about because people don't like none of the two parties that existing right now. So, it's okay to say, get out there and vote, cast your vote, make a difference. But when you don't like none of what is being, proposed to you, it makes it difficult. So I kind of glad that they got a new party to kind of stir the pot a little bit, and get the other parties on the P's and Q's because it's get too comfortable, it's get too relaxed. Healthy, yeah. Competition is healthy. So speaking of stirring the pot, I shared the article with you guys about Eswick, the Minister of Agriculture. Yeah. Talking about
that's good
saying
to know,
that, a lot of people are showing him kudos for actually calling a spade at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And he said that we failed as a government in trying to execute the economic policies for Barbados to make Barbados better. And he actually predicted it. He talks about, in the article, he talks about how he warned them. Like, I told you that this would have happened.
Right.
And he didn't really call any names. He didn't really say Sinclair in particular. He didn't really say your finance minister. But all the fingers are pointing in that direction. You don't know, everybody reading the article don't know. But for me, to see that one person in that government actually admitted that they're messing up.
I don't know. I feel kind of cynical about it.
Tell me how you feel about it.
I mean, Why would you wait until a plane crashes to say we crashed?
We going down.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't follow that.
I told you that we were
closely.
gonna crash.
I don't follow that closely, so I don't know if in like previous years he said anything publicly. Like
he did. Yeah.
Okay, so he did.
Yeah.
So that's great. If it was a case where he just come out when it's pretty obvious, then I would feel pretty cynical about it. But if he was saying it all along and he was loud about it and public about it, then kudos. Not like other people who at the last minute. I can't say nothing too bad about that guy because he likes me. He's my friend. So I got a toe line.
Right.
But if it was one of those things where it's opportunistic,
yeah,
I would have felt a little cynical.
I think that it's just a matter of your party kind of like overriding you. But he's always been that one person that tried to be the voice of reason when he thought that things were going too far. And I think we're seeing it.
So if a politician don't got power, how the people supposed to got any power?
I don't know, man.
That got me, because people always say like, okay, the people have the power. I'm like, I don't really feel like I have that much power when it comes to influencing politicians because I feel like they just do what they want to. And even when it's blatantly a wrong decision or a bad decision, greedy, illegal, it hasn't had any effect.
Repercussions,
Right.
yeah, for them to say they,
So
they make a change.
I feel like people only have power when it comes to their everyday life and decisions they make, like immediately around them. But other than that, I don't really feel like people have the power. I don't. So even with the march that's coming up, I just feel kind of cynical. I think it's better than doing nothing, but at the same time, it's like what will
will become of it, right? What will come out of it?
Because I'm not gonna say any great title. I just call him Frondell because I have very little respect for him. So he will just probably watch it and be as silent as he always is, and like I don't really feel like our politicians even care enough that a nation coming together with some outcry will impact them. I don't see them as that empathetic.
And that says a lot because it comes back to the point where we were just saying it's kind of important for celebrities to get out there and get into the whole discussion of politics as well. Because the average person, the average youth, they're despondent. They don't really care nothing about politics because the examples that we have there for us ain't nothing that we looking up to or respecting, as you just said. So the only way we can get them to engage in this conversation or this topic altogether is if they see someone that they look up to engaging in it too.
Yeah.
Because they're not looking up to Frondell. They're not looking up to the politicians out there. And as you said, if it is that a politician that is already in power can't be heard, can't get no type of change, who's us? Like just a layman in society?
I mean, I get the whole thing about the cynicism because, especially the last election, right? I mean, we voted and the government came in and things just seem to be getting worse and worse. And you feel as if, because a lot of people say that your power is in your vote. As the citizen of a country, you vote and that's your power, right? So when you vote, you put in the government and then things are getting worse and worse and they're not doing anything to ensure the betterment of the country, right? Or perceived betterment of the country. Then you feel as if then what's the sense of voting? And
Precisely.
then as you said too, there are a lot of youngsters too, a lot of people that are coming up. And this is the same thing that actually happened in the States. We talked about this in previous podcasts where a lot of people voted for Donald Trump because they wanted change. They didn't want Hillary. They didn't want Democrat. They didn't want Ted Cruz. They didn't want any of those people. They wanted someone that's...
Because they come with the same thing over and over again.
Exactly. So people want change and people want someone that's going to be as honest as they could be as a politician. But I still think that the democratic process is something that it does lend power to the people. It's just sometimes you take your lumps. You take your L sometimes and you just got to move with it. I mean, yeah, it's 5 years. That's a pretty long time.
To take a lump.
To take a lump, right? But a lot of people, and two, I find for, let me speak to our society, that people are not going to be engaged or care if it doesn't directly impact them or how they perceive direct impactment. Like, for example, what happened? Like a young person would have to pay a bus fare or not pay a bus fare, or bus fare will raise, or they will go pay a tax on soft drinks, or they don't have cars, so they don't have to worry about petrol. You know, they don't shop because mommy and daddy shop at the supermarket, so then the basket of goods thing ain't really affect them. They don't pay taxes. So then someone that is like say 18 to 25, for example, who still in school and still doing certain things, is not directly impacting them. Like a lot of people would have complained about UE when they had to pay for university and stuff like that a few years ago. A lot of people started to think. But as a young person, you don't have a vested interest to vote, or you don't have a vested interest A or B.
What can we do what can we use as an incentive for these youth to get them to think along that way? Because we can't just say that because they're young, they're not going to think about that. They're things to think about. We can't. We're in such a deficit with the treasury, right? Look at it, just let go of the man because he said he ain't printing no more money.
And not a dime.
Right?
Not a dollar. So
these are some things that they're going to need to think about. They're the generation that is turning in to the whole working force and dealing with all of this here. So we just can't continue to not let them pay to get on the bus or not tax for the we can't just not do it because they don't have an interest in it. Because the deficit could just keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper. So I don't know. It's
to me it comes down to education too, right? Like first things first.
We got Adaze's entourage on the sidelines here. The political topics, we kind of knew that she was going to come in and say something. Shout out to, tell everyone who you are.
Laura May.
You see? Shout out to Laura May. And tell us your 2 cents on this issue here.
So as y'all were talking about the young people not having a vested interest, I think what needs to happen is that the older generation needs to help them understand what their vested interest is.
Yeah.
So of course they do, and they talk about the young people being the future and all this kind of stuff. But for example, I think what we saw in the U.S. with, the guy that was running against Hillary, the other...
Barry Sanders.
Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
Sanders was able to appeal to a whole generation of youth that recognize that having some of the highest education costs in the world to pay when you come out of university is not a good thing.
Yeah.
And he started looking at ways to make education free. Now, we had free education before, and now it's not free anymore. That is probably the lowest hanging fruit that any party could try to pick in terms of appealing to the youth that are going towards education.
Right.
So you make them realize that within the construct of the economy, if it is that we cannot pay our debt, we cannot earn any money, we cannot function as, let's just say, as a household, because the economy is really like a household. I say all the time, I think any housewife could run the economy. It's not really rocket science in terms of just the broad strokes. So if you can help them understand that the way that we are running this household, the way that we're running this economy, actually takes away opportunity from them, actually saddles them with debt.
Lots of debt to pay back.
Actually ensures that when they come out of University of the West Indies, there's no job to have. Actually make sure that as a graduate, you are... My brother graduated from University of West Indies and has taken a job driving the roadside assistance truck because he cannot get a job. That is the reality of Barbados now. And you have to make sure that the youth buy in and understand all of the consequences of the decisions that they think have nothing to do with them. But when you bring it all the way down, they will realize how that impacts their life on a daily basis. So I feel for sure there's a way.
So you running in politics? No seat for you?
I think she would do a great job.
And this is the problem too with Barbados. We got a lot of people that got brilliant ideas, brilliant thinkers, and they just want talking the Overthinkers podcast. That's what I want to do.
I didn't even want to do that.
You didn't even want to do that.
I think it's just like what we're seeing in the U.S. where people wanted something different.
Yeah.
I would not want to be part of any political machine in Barbados. I wouldn't want to be a part of that because anything that I would do would be so different from what they were doing. I don't feel like I want to paint myself with that brush. And I think that's the problem. That's why people can't attract people with ideas into a party because we don't want to be part of a party. But you know,
this whole stigma around it as well too.
Yeah.
But I know you still do your work with, you know, outreach with society. I saw you donate some money to the shelter, the
RSPCA.
Yeah. So like shout out to that. Like you still have your hand in things. I guess that's what we need to do more of. Even like if we don't want to get into the party, but still getting hands on with change. You know.
That's right. That's the same thing that Adaeze was saying a few minutes ago. That I feel very strongly that we can impact our circle. I mean, we come into contact with people who need help, who need assistance, who need an assuring word, who need a donation, who needs, you know, your rent needs to be paid, your landlord on your back, you know, and you can quietly slip $200 to that person. Nobody gonna know. And you give it to them, and you can impact your society in that way to try to make things better. Talk to young people too. Help them to understand, you know what, you're saying that you ain't want vote, but you realize that X, Y, Z, and you could do that on a one-on-one basis and actually effect some kind of change.
Yeah, talk to young people, period.
The Overthinkers